We have a developing story for you in the disappearance of an 18-year-old woman. This afternoon, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office says the disappearance of Gabriella Dixon may be a homicide.
The 18-year-old was reported missing last week, and the family called the Sheriff's Office for help.
This is the story of Gabriella Dixon, an 18-year-old mother of two who cried out for help, feared for her life, and then disappeared without a trace. Imagine you're standing on your front porch in Macon, Georgia. The air is cooling down for the evening, and you're watching your two toddlers run towards you. They've just been dropped off by their father, a man you once trusted, a man the whole community thought was a good young man. But as you reach down to scoop them up, your 2-year-old daughter looks at you with eyes that have seen the unthinkable and whispers 5 words that will dismantle your world forever. Momma was in the blood. While that baby is describing a massacre, her older sibling is standing right there, softly insisting that Momma is just sleeping. 2 children, 2 stories. And a mother who has effectively vanished into thin air. By the time you finish this video, you'll realize that what happened to 18-year-old Gabriella Dixon wasn't just a sudden tragedy. It was a calculated vanishing act that took 9 agonizing months to unravel, and the people who held the map to her grave were the ones who claimed to love her most. But here is the part that will make your skin crawl. The police knew the who within 48 hours. So why did it take nearly a year to find the where? And what does a shopping list for trash bags and bleach have to do with a betrayal that goes deeper than anyone imagined? Welcome to Hot True Crime Stories. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you won't miss out on our important true crime documentary. Gabby Dixon was a mini-me to her mother and a hero to her 2 girls. But behind the digital smiles, she was trapped in a psychological cage. To be honest, Reginald Harris didn't just walk into her life, he reconstructed it. He knew she felt like the black sheep of her family, so he became her only friend. He knew she felt insecure, so he stopped complimenting her until she felt she had no value outside of him. He even encouraged her to argue with her mother, creating a wall of silence around her. It's a pattern we see all the time, but we rarely call it what it is: premeditated isolation. At what point does staying for the kids become a death sentence for the parent? I'm reading every single comment. Tell me where you think the line between loyalty and danger really lies. Reginald thrived because he kept Gabby in the dark, away from anyone who could save her. If you believe that exposing these predators is the only way to stop them, hit the like button and subscribe right now. If you don't, you're essentially choosing to stay silent while people like him operate in the shadows of our communities. Most people think domestic homicides happen in a sudden snap. But with Reginald, the warnings weren't just whispering, they were screaming. In September 2023, just 1 month before she vanished, Reginald followed Gabby's car and opened fire. He shot at her while his own children were in the back seat. Think about the level of detachment you need to have to pull a trigger toward your own blood. Weeks later, he allegedly choked her and held a gun to her head in their apartment. The police told her to get a restraining order. She tried to leave. But Reginald used the most powerful pawn in the game: the kids. The girls need a 2-parent household, he'd tell her. He used her love for her children as the rope to tie her to the chair. The police documented the violence. They saw the bruises. They gave her the paperwork for a protective order, but no court documents show it was ever filed. And that one missing signature gave Reginald exactly what he needed: a window of opportunity. When the system sees a man shoot at a car full of children and he's still walking free weeks later, who is really responsible for what happens next? Share your honest thoughts below. I want to know if you think the system failed Gabby, or if the system is just built this way. This story is getting heavy, and we haven't even reached the dumpster yet. If you value the deep research we do to give victims like Gabby a voice when no one else would listen, share this video right now. It's the only way to break the algorithm's silence and keep these stories at the top of the feed. October 30th, Reginald claims he dropped Gabby off at her father's house. But Gabby's mother knew that was a lie the second she walked into Gabby's room. Her laptop, the one she needed for her job, the one she never left without, was sitting right there on the desk. Then a neighbor in the apartment complex came forward with a story that should have ended the search on day 1. She said she saw a man at the dumpster that Monday night. She saw him tossing bedding and clothes. And then she saw a car with someone wrapped in a blanket lying across the back seat. She said it looked like a body, but because she was older and didn't want to make too much of it, she went back to bed. She told herself people sleep in cars all the time. If you saw someone wrapped in a blanket in the back of a car at 4 a.m., would you call the cops? Or would you mind your own business to avoid being that neighbor? Let's have a real debate in the comments. If you've made it this far into Gabby's nightmare, and still won't subscribe, I want you to go to the comments and explain why. Is the content not intense enough? Or are you just comfortable not being notified when the verdict finally drops for the men who did this? I'm curious to see who thinks they don't need to stay updated. Reginald was arrested a week later, but not for murder. He sat in a jail cell, playing a sick game of psychological chess with Gabby's grieving mother. He allegedly sent her a message that sounded like a confession, but felt like a ransom note. Let me see my children and I'll tell you everything you need to know. While he was bartering for a visit with his kids, his cousin, 19-year-old Jatarvius Price, was living his life in Monroe County. He was living just 1 mile away from a quiet, wooded construction site. While the family was scouring Alabama and searching through tall bushes in Macon, Jatarvius was practically sitting on the grave. For 9 months, they waited. For 9 months, Reginald smiled in court. But then, a construction crew moved a pile of dirt near Highway 87, and the earth finally gave up Reginald's secret. Is a cousin who helps hide a body just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger? Or is family loyalty a valid excuse in the eyes of the law? Tell me what you think Jatarvius' sentence should be. Reginald and Jatarvius spent 240 days hoping the world would forget Gabriella Dixon. They wanted her to stay buried in the silence of those woods. If you refuse to let them win, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Every new member of this channel is a statement that we won't let predators hide their tracks.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Western. About 100 people in the Central Georgia community gathered this morning for a celebration of life service for Gabby Dixon. She went missing back in October 2023, and this July, law enforcement say her body was found near a construction site in Monroe County. Now, family is grateful for the closure, but still mourning for Gabby.
Everybody has been affected by my daughter going on home to be with kids.
That proved true by the number of family, friends, and even strangers who showed up Saturday to honor Gabby Dixon.
A man can live 100 years and not leave a mark. Gabby left a mark.
That mark bled on her former classmates.
And when I felt stupid and dumb and felt like I wasn't intelligent, she pushed me to do better in school. And because of Gabby, she motivated me to go to college.
And the people in the pews as her family told stories of how Dixon shared more than just a similar name with her mother.
If you ever met my wife, she's real short in stature, and she is a force to be reckoned with.
She kind of reminded me of a Sour Patch Kid, because you know how they say fresh and sour and sweet. She was very compassionate and loved to help others.
That love was engraved in her 2 babies, her friends, and her siblings. But even in their time of pain and mourning, the family is finding strength in God.
And even though God chose to take her away from us at this young age, I'm thankful for God putting us together. I'm thankful for the limited time we were able to have.
Believing God will unite them all again.
I'll see it again. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm going to see it, because God already told me what I need to know.
On July 24th, 2024, the skeletal remains were found. Gabby's mom was 99% sure immediately. She recognized the red hair. She recognized the jacket. But the most disturbing detail? The gunshot wound to the head. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a snap. This was an execution. Reginald used to tell Gabby, "I didn't leave bruises, so what proof do you have?" He thought if he hid her deep enough, the evidence would rot away. He didn't realize that his own daughter's memory of the blood and his own digital footprint of trash bags and bleach would be the very things to bury him. Gabby wrote that her family remained friendly with Reginald even after he hurt her. How much does a family's niceness to an abuser contribute to a victim feeling like they have nowhere to go? This is a tough one, but I want to hear your honest take. Our deepest and most sincere condolences go out to the Dixon and Searcy families. Gabby was a mother who tried to be a hero for her children, and in the end, her own words became the roadmap to her justice. Thank you for watching to the end, and I will see you on the next episode of Hot True Crime Stories. Stay safe.